In the meme I created, I display the current issue of melting glaciers and polar ice caps in a humorous and slightly mocking tone. I took this path because I felt a meme that was too serious or one that presents the issue too complexly would be uninteresting to students, which therefore would make it difficult to keep their attention while describing the topic to them. This, therefore, would lead to lower marks on the part of the students. The characters used in my meme are the highly familiar animated characters of the Ice Age movie franchise. These three characters are Diego the saber-toothed cat, Manfred the mammoth, and Sid the giant sloth. These characters are still familiar to youth, and therefore it allows them to remember the class that the meme will be presented in. As a result, this gives them a chance to remember the contents of the class, which results in better marks in quizzes and on exams. To be more detailed on what my environmental issue is, it is the issue of the glaciers, ice sheets, and ice caps around the world shrinking due to a warming climate and how people today are raising serious alarm bells about how this is one of the greatest indicators of the world's changing climate. It also added in the mocking tone to show how long ago the glaciers had started melting, telling us that while they are a great indicator of the warming of the planet, it has been going on for a lot longer than what many people are trying to stipulate today. This countering of the popular beliefs involving climate change is gaining traction in the scientific community nowadays and is backed by several studies and research papers. Those findings indicate that while the world is indeed in a warming period at the moment, if one takes into account the data from thousands of years of the Earth's changing climate, which is taken from analysis of ice cores and tree rings, we are actually in a much cooler time than what the Earth was in before, and the fact that the Earth did fix itself. Many climatologists are debunking what they are calling myths surrounding climate change and are trying to say to people that it is not as bad as the environmentalists are trying to advertise, though they are saying it is still bad. Despite the arguing, no one can doubt the issues that this melting is bringing forward. For starters, a vast majority of the world's biggest rivers, for example, the Yangtze, the Amazon, the Saskatchewan, and the Fraser rivers, all have sources in glacial meltwater. If those glaciers were to disappear entirely, then the regions that rely on those rivers for irrigation, drinking water, and trade would be in serious trouble. Not to mention, the world will all have to go, water will all have to go somewhere, which means low-lying countries and several communities in those low-lying countries would be in greater danger from rising sea levels. All of this would be a catastrophe for humankind. To apply all of this into my classes, I would show the meme to classes that are learning a variety of subjects, such as the Earth's history, climate and climate change, as well as the extinction of animals. Then, I would ask the students what they think the message of the meme is, and then tell them what my reasoning for it is. This would provide the students a great introduction into the subject they are learning. The pedagogy behind this is the fact that students are interested in, and therefore better retain, information that they can apply to something familiar. An example of a curriculum that this meme could be presented in is the Science 10 curriculum of Saskatchewan. This curriculum has a section of outcomes for climate and ecosystem dynamics. Within this section, there are a few indicators under the outcome ESCI 10 CD2, which requires students to investigate factors that influence Earth's climate system, including the role of natural greenhouse effects. My meme would provide a great means to introduce the concept of the effects that the greenhouse gases are having on Earth and have the students garner an interest in the subject.